Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we're going to talk about this morning to wrap up your week is Elizabeth Warren is back on the warpath. Around this time, gun codes and ammo codes, because this has been her little shtick for the past year and a half, 2 years. They're now coming out and demanding that the government use the federal levers of power to force credit card companies to do what they are ignoring after she asked them to do it. You can't make this stuff up. These people are tyrants. They're going to ask you nicely, and then they're going to make you do it. That's the way this works, because they are going to get their gun control by hook or by crook. Everything I'm about to show you is going to be linked in the description box below. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And with that, let's dive right into this. I'm going to show you some backstory before I show you the new press release title, which I have right here. This is some backstory of Elizabeth Warren and the Democrats' push to get credit card companies to isolate and report gun purchases and ammo purchases from stores across the nation. Here's the backstory if you're not familiar with this. In September of 2022, Senator Warren and Representative Dean sent letters to the CEOs of MasterCard, Amex, and Visa, urging them to support the creation of a new MCC code, which is a merchant category code, for gun and ammunition retailers, and to request information about their reported opposition to Amalgamated Bank's application for such a code. Amalgamated Bank, if you'd recall, is a left-woke progressive bank being utilized by the progressive politicians to implement gun codes inside the financial system. That's what Amalgamated Bank is, and that's what the Democrats are doing and using it as such. Then we fast forward to March 2023. Senators Warren and Bob Menendez, by the way, under investigation in the Senate for full-on corruption, just want to throw that out there, sent a letter to the U.S. Department of the Treasury and U.S. Department of Justice urging the departments to issue guidance to financial institutions for the full implementation of the codes and basically aligned to the International Standard Organization approved in 2022. That's what they got approved, right? The backstory here in the details is the international organization approved them, and the credit card companies said, okay, we'll do it, and until backlash happened. Republican senators came out against it, Republican House members came out against it, governors came out against it, and states started passing laws preventing it. They got in front of them. They got outmaneuvered, is effectively what happened. But let's keep going in this little time travel here. November of 2023, Senator Warren and Representative Maxwell Frost is the one who just coined the term zombie gun, sent a letter to 6 major financial institutions calling on them to provide critical information on their efforts to end their financial investments in the gun industry. Stop doing business with them. Okay. Fast forward even further. December 2023, Senator Warren and Representative Dean led lawmakers in a letter to Amex, Visa, MasterCard, and Discover, requesting that they explain why their companies have paused the code of which they want to do for ammo and gun purchases. So, where we're at right now, Amalgamated Bank, and they wanted a new code, and the Democrats pushed the International Standards Organization to do it. Credit card companies said, we're not doing it because they got too much pushback, and they want to stay out of the political firefight. Then they sent a letter to the DOJ and the Department of Treasury, basically putting pressure to get codes in place. Then they sent letters to the actual organization saying, hey, why aren't you doing this? We want it done. And now we've arrived at the newest one coming out yesterday, March of 2024. March 28th. Warren and Dean, 31 lawmakers, urged the Treasury financial regulators to curb gun violence by directing financial institutions to implement MCC codes for gun stores. We've gone from, hey, we'd love this and we're asking for it, to suggesting heavily to the government to encourage it, to, hey, why are you still doing business with them? You need to stop, to now mandating it from the federal government on the credit card companies who balked at this idea. Tyranny on full parade, people. Let's continue. Let me show you a few of the details because they're on a quest, a holy quest. I don't even think I can say what a holy quest is, you know, the actual word for it, but you guys know where I'm going. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren and U.S. Representative Madeleine Dean and 31 lawmakers are led in a letter to the Department of Treasury and financial agencies within the Treasury, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, and the Federal Reserve, urging the Treasury to issue clear guidance directing payment card networks and financial institutions to implement the new MCC codes for firearm and ammunition retailers. They're leveraging the full power, what do they say? A whole of government approach. Sound familiar? To do the things that they want. They asked, they didn't get it. Now they're trying to get the levers of power of the government to come down on these credit card companies when they didn't do it voluntarily. These people have no scruples. They want their gun control, and they will hold nothing back to get it, which is why you vote against them and kick them out of power. Their letter to the Treasury follows a December 2023 Senator letter. Warren and Dean led the major payment networks, urging them to promptly implement the gun store code, which they've already said they're not going to. The Treasury should prompt payment networks to make the MCC available for use, require merchant banks to assign the MCC, so make banks do it, and develop guidance on recognizing activity that may be associated with gun crimes. Anyone else feeling really not great? Because these people, this is why we fight. This is why we're going to pass the blessing of the Second Amendment along to the next generation, because we know what they're doing, and we're going to fight it every step of the way. Send these things out. Let's continue. However, the gun store MCC cannot be implemented until credit card companies opt to make the code available. Shortly after the creation of the gun store code in 2022, the largest credit card companies agreed to use it. Months later, they backtracked and said they were pausing implementation due to the prospect of then pending state laws banning the use of MCCs. Since then, conflicting state laws have been enacted. At least 7 states have passed laws banning use of the gun store MCC, while California passed a law requiring it. The Treasury should eliminate the uncertainty by making clear that under federal law, payment networks and banks are expected to use the most specific MCC code, particularly for high-risk merchants, continue the lawmakers. So what happened? The banks, or the credit card companies, balked. The left states started passing laws requiring it. Colorado is one of the examples that it just started and it's culminating. California did it. Florida and a lot of other red states said we're not doing that, and they passed laws preempting it. So now these lawmakers who want the codes say, well, federal government, you just make it a federal thing, and we got this, and we're going to do it through the Department of the Treasury and the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve, by the way, is not a government entity. The Federal Reserve is a privately owned corporation. This is insanity. These people are just absolutely crazy. And I'm going to leave it up on the screen while I wrap this for all this, the lawmakers who joined it. So in wrapping this up, it's hook or by crook. For Elizabeth Warren and the other gun-controlling Democrats who are in safe, deep blue bastions, they've identified the idea that gun control is the way where they get easy, low-hanging fruit votes and momentum for their campaigns and their Democratic campaign colleagues. Or campaigning colleagues, rather. They are specifically going against the idea of a free market system. They are going against the idea of a private sector versus public sector. And they are trying to make the credit card companies come to heel because they said they're not going to do it as private corporations, and because they can't actually have power over private corporations, they're going to try to get the government to come down and mandate it and mandate the banks because they have oversight into the banks. This is what's happening. Spread this out. Let's keep stuffing it. Let's keep kicking it right in the nuts. And I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.